Hi, welcome to the guest list. I'm Nikki Lewis. Today's show is all about theming, fancy dress. This is not normally how I would look. I wouldn't normally come to work looking like a flapper. And today joining me is Joe from First Scene. A little bit later on the show, I'm also going to be talking to Ruth. Ruth is from Diabetes New Zealand, and why she's coming on the show is Diabetes New Zealand is hosting a great big fundraising event, which they are also theming. So not only are they raising funds, but they're putting on an event which they're going to theme, and she's going to be talking about how they are doing that and all the things that the exciting things that they're actually doing for that big event. So we're going to be talking to her about that. Now, fancy dress, themed parties. Just what you guys do.
That's right.
Yeah, because as we say, we don't normally dress like this, do we?
You look fabulous, by the way.
And so do you.
Thank you.
Now, tell me, how did you get into the industry?
That's a great question. I originally came into this industry through the music industry. I lived and worked in London, and I worked as a tour manager for an artist named Dave Stewart of Eurythmics with Annie Lennox. I was fortunate enough to work for Dave for many years, and when I came back to New Zealand, it was a natural transition really to move into events through the music industry, then through public relations, and ultimately into the world of corporates, which I really still do actually.
How exciting.
It is, and it was in fact.
How long ago was that you came back to New Zealand?
I've been home now since the early 90s, so I guess 25 years perhaps. I'm losing count when we talk about those types of years.
And First Scene, how did First Scene come about?
Well, First Scene has been privately owned now for about 16 years, but we were originally the prop and costume department for Television New Zealand. And we were based right next to TVNZ, as it is now on Hobson Street in Auckland. And what you'll find is a lot of items that we still have in stock come from shows. Some of our viewers will remember back in the day, Close to Home, the early Shorten Street, the first Billy T. James shows. So they were all those items were made and produced for the shows that Television New Zealand created themselves.
Fantastic. And so the owners of First Scene, they obviously bought all of these props and
That's
stuff
right.
up, and now they've relocated the whole of First Scene to another location?
That's right. We moved around 12 years ago to Kingsland, which is based in central Auckland, and we have two buildings. One houses our prop and costume collection, and another building houses what we call our industry collection. And that's where we store our original uniforms, our Māori and Pacific section, our very, very retro furniture, items that are ideally used for film and theatre and television, more so than birthdays, corporate functions, celebrations. Yeah.
Now tell me what people do when it comes to watching Game of Thrones in their own homes, Joe.
Well, Nikki, as you can see, the way I'm dressed today is very medieval, and Game of Thrones has certainly brought the medieval genre back into the spotlight. So what we've had lately is a huge rush of people having dinner parties, celebrating the actual relaunch of the new series of Game of Thrones, because it has been going for some years now, dressing up in the type of attire that I'm wearing today, theming their house with all of our medieval furniture, our thrones, our torture chambers, our swords, transforming their suburban homes into their castles basically. And then after the celebration, sitting around the big screen and watching the series, possibly reenacting some of the scenes. So people are having a huge amount of fun, and of any age group. And we're not talking necessarily teenagers, people from their 20s through to their 60s. It's really exciting.
That is loads and loads of fun. It's really, really good. And viewers, if you want to just see how engaged people can be of all ages, our crew went along to First Scene a few days ago, and without doubt, they loved the trip through there. And we had young and old dressing up, reenacting all sorts of fights. So head on to our Facebook page and see what they got up to there. Now, Joe, does First Scene get very involved with the client's events? So a client comes along and says, right, we would like to do an event. How involved does First Scene get?
Well, it depends on what the client needs are, Nikki. So many of our clients are actually event management companies, so they're coming to us on behalf of their client, to the supplier directly. We give them what they need and then they take the stress out of it for their client. However, a lot of clients will come to us directly, particularly smaller clients who have slightly less demanding needs. For example, you might be having a birthday party. You want to hire from us, but you'd like us to deliver, to set up the props, to pack them down for you so you can focus on looking fabulous, on your guests, on having a great time at your celebration. So we offer those services, absolutely. And what we find is our clients absolutely love that. It takes the stress out for them. We turn up, we set up. All they have to do is arrive, host their guests, have a glass of wine, something to eat, open their presents, and then go home.
Brilliant. Now, what are the big themes that you're seeing coming through at the moment?
Well, as I mentioned, Game of Thrones is huge. Great Gatsby has been amazing in the last 12 months. And that's exactly right. And you can see why. It's a glamorous, fun look. You carry it brilliantly. And it's a look that people love. Women love to feel glamorous. Men want to feel sexy and handsome. And it ticks a lot of boxes, Great Gatsby, certainly for the corporate environment. So that has been, that's had a resurgence for about a year now. So that is still carrying on. Every theme has a turnaround period, and something that was fashionable will come back. So, for example, the Harry Potter series, that's just come back again, and there hasn't, for no particular reason, the books haven't been relaunched, the movie hasn't been relaunched, but it was very popular at the time, and so after a certain amount of years, for the next generation, it comes back into fashion. So that's really exciting. Some of our very popular themes are always in fashion. That would be pirates, westerns, space is always really, really interesting. We've got a lot of things happening around Asia and around the Middle East at the moment. So Egyptian, Roman, ancient worlds, those type of themes, always popular.
How do you guys stay on trend? How do you find out new ideas and that sort of thing?
We get asked that a lot. What we do is we subscribe to a lot of media outlets and printed material from overseas that tells us what's happening before it gets to New Zealand. So we're normally a few months behind the American and European trends, so that when a movie is being launched, such as Great Gatsby, we know about it well in advance. We make sure we've got the stock, we get a feeling of how popular it's going to be and who of our client base it will appeal to. So we make sure we're ahead of the game in that way, and then suddenly when everything, the demand comes in, we're ready to go.
Fantastic. And how do you get your props? Do you make them? Do you import them? And the same with the costumes.
We have probably over 300,000 items in our stores.
Wow.
So we're known as the largest prop and costume hire company in Australasia, which is a great thing. It's a great title to have. We're really proud of it, but it means a huge amount of work. So what we do is we have a permanent costume designer on site who repairs, alters, and more importantly makes from scratch. We have a permanent prop maker / repairer. So if an item comes back damaged or we need something new that we don't have, but we know there's a huge demand for it, he will whip it up.
Wow.
In a short amount of time. Our biggest skill, our biggest asset is our staff. Our staff are amazingly talented, and they're the ones that make it happen actually.
It's fantastic. Your place is just a treasure trove of these goodies. It's walking into a wonderland, which is fantastic. It's beautiful. Jo, if somebody wants to come and visit the actual physical place, where do they go to?
You come to 597 New North Road in Kingsland, which is based in central Auckland. We're very, very close to the Norwestern Motorway. If you come onto our website, www.firstscene.co.nz, you'll see a map showing you how to get to us. We are open 6 days in our props department, 7 days in our costume department, and our website has all the helpful information you need. But if you have any queries, don't hesitate to call. We love getting phone calls. We can answer anything that you want to know, and we will just work around you. We run our store 10 to 12 hours a day, and we're really, really accommodating. We want you to come in, have a look around. As you say, it's unforgettable when you come and see us.
It is.
And so even if you're not in the position to want to hire something right now, come in anyway and just soak up the atmosphere and bring the kids. Children love our place.
They do. My son had a ball in there. So thank you so much, Jo.
You're welcome.
So I've been chatting to Jo from First Scene, and like she says, go in there just for the experience and you'll get so much inspiration you will want to put a party on. After the break, I'm going to be chatting to Ruth from Diabetes New Zealand, and she's going to be telling us all about their upcoming fundraising event at the Floating Pavilion in the Viaduct in Auckland.
The guest list is made possible with support from wedding champions who make your magic day possible. People like Edgewater Resort in Rarotonga, the perfect spot for all your family and friends to celebrate. And what a place to have that honeymoon. Thinking weddings and honeymoon, think Edgewater Resort Rarotonga. And speaking of dream holidays or a wedding overseas, talk to the expert on travel, honeymoons and romantic escapes, Anita Gatley Travel. Anita can identify all the idyllic resorts for that perfect honeymoon. Just moments away with a phone call. Anita Gatley Travel. Give Anita a call on 0508 Honeymoon. As simple as that, 0508 Honeymoon.
Hi, welcome back to the guest list. I'm now joined by Ruth Davey from Diabetes New Zealand. Welcome, Ruth.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Now, Diabetes New Zealand, the Auckland branch, you are planning a great big fundraising event. So we're going to talk about a little bit about your event in a wee while. But first of all, tell us a little bit about Diabetes New Zealand.
Diabetes New Zealand has 26 branches around New Zealand, and we're the largest branch here in Auckland. And we support people with diabetes as well as raising awareness. And we do that in a lot of ways. Auckland has a range of services, realising that 1 in 4 Aucklanders have either pre-diabetes or diabetes.
Wow, that's a high number.
High number, and that equates to about 350,000 people.
Oh.
So we have an epidemic.
Mm.
So my job is to totally raise the profile, raise awareness, and getting people engaging with primary care to get good service delivery.
Right, big job.
Big job, huge job.
Yeah. So you've got this fundraising event coming up in a little bit later on in July. And this is really why we have you on the show, because the fundraising event that you've got on is a Mardi Gras themed event. So a little earlier we had Joe on from First Scene, and we were talking about themed events and fancy dress and stuff, which is exactly why we've got you here.
Thank you very much for having us. Yes, the Mardi Gras is exciting. We've chosen it because it is energetic, it's got snack type food, the stalls, so it fits our whole profile of keeping fit. And it is, we've got wonderful masks and fun, like the divas coming, the dancers, and Sir Peter Leach, so it's very interactive. And we've got flamethrowers and contortionists, drama students, so it's going to be an exciting night. And at the Floating Pavilion, a fantastic venue, right down in the heart of the harbour, so yeah.
Very nice. Is the event open to the public?
Totally, we're really encouraging people to come. We need 200 people to come along, and we've still got tickets for sale, and we encourage people to bring a group and have a fun night.
Fantastic. So it would be great actually for either a group of friends or even a corporate company to get a group together.
Totally, and you're going to be promised a really exciting, fun, engaging night. It's not a stuffy sit-down ball where you all sit around, and have a few dances. It's going to be really interactive. And it's reasonably priced. It's $125 a ticket.
That's great.
So that's for entertainment. You've got a DJ at the end, so you're going to be able to do your own samba and your own, sort of Brazilian dance if you want to be Brazilian at the moment.
Ooh.
And you can dress up if you want. There are prizes, $750 portrait sittings and the portrait itself for 3 lots of people. So yeah, it's exciting times.
And you mentioned Sir Peter Lynch. He's going to be there?
He is.
Oh, fantastic. What's his role?
He's an ambassador for Diabetes New Zealand Auckland, having diabetes type 2 himself. He's a great ambassador, and he'll get up there and make it really exciting and fun in his own way.
And you mentioned that there's going to be dancers. So what are they doing in forms of entertainment?
The Brazilian diva dancers are really exciting. They're on our Facebook page if anyone wants to have a look, Diabetes New Zealand Auckland branch. And they're really, there's a group of beautiful young women dancing the Brazilian dances.
Fantastic.
They really profile it in its best.
Now, what is the aim of the whole event? Are you trying to raise money? Are you trying to raise the profile? What is the aim of the actual event?
I think it's twofold. I have to raise $1.5 million a year to do our service. Wow. This is aimed at bringing in 60,000, which goes a long way, but also raising the profile of type 1, type 2, diabetes, and there are other types of diabetes, but just we've got some young children coming to present, a young lad, amazing young boy whose father has diabetes, Pacific, and also a young boy with type 1 diabetes. Really want to profile, we've got to protect our future. We're killing our future at the moment. People's life expectancy of 10-year-olds today going to be less than yours and mine.
Wow.
Because of diabetes. So we need to look after our future. If we don't do something now, raise money and raise awareness, we're in serious trouble.
It sounds like a brilliant cause. So you said there are still tickets available. Where do people go to get those tickets?
Come to us at Diabetes New Zealand Auckland branch. You can buy them through Facebook or phone us 0508 Diabetes or ring us at the office, Diabetes New Zealand Auckland branch.
We will put a link on the guest list Facebook page and also on our website as well.
Fantastic, thank you.
And just to recap for our viewers as well, so the event is going to be held on which date?
July the 26th, starts at 7 o'clock and it's down at the Waterfront Pavilion.
Fantastic. Ruth from Diabetes New Zealand, the Auckland branch, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
After the break, I'm going to be chatting to a couple who got married at Cable Bay on Waiheke Island. So join me after the break.
The guest list is made possible with support from wedding champions who make your magic day possible. People like Edgewater Resort in Rarotonga, the perfect spot for all your family and friends to celebrate. And what a place to have that honeymoon. Thinking weddings and honeymoon, think Edgewater Resort Rarotonga. And speaking of dream holidays or a wedding overseas, talk to the expert on travel, honeymoons and romantic escapes, Anita Gatley Travel. Anita can identify all the idyllic resorts for that perfect honeymoon. Just moments away with a phone call. Anita Gatley Travel. Give Anita a call on 0508 Honeymoon. As simple as that, 0508 Honeymoon.
Hi, welcome back to the guest list. I'm Nikki Lewis. Now joining me is Alison and Miles. They recently got married at Cable Bay Vineyard on Waiheke Island in Auckland. So welcome, Alison and Miles.
Thank you.
So recently you got married. Congratulations, first off. So let's hear a little bit about your story. So how did you guys meet? Miles?
Oh wow, it was a very wet, windy Thursday evening in the viaduct in Auckland, and Alison and I met at a speed dating event.
Oh, wonderful.
One evening. So we're very lucky the weather didn't put us off, and that was our top match for the night. So
fantastic. That's brilliant. And how long ago was that?
It was May last year, the year before.
Yeah, 2 years ago now.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Miles, how did you pop the question?
Well, Alice and I, we went to China last September, where we spent a week with Alison's family, and then we went up to Beijing. And in Beijing, we went to the Great Wall of China, which is somewhere I've always wanted to go. And I thought, being one of the wonders of the world, that it would be a great place to pop the question. So we got to the Great Wall, and I thought, being such a long wall, it would have lots of quiet spaces, but there were thousands of people. So,
What was I thinking? It's like a million people on the Great Wall.
Anyway, a bit of naivety. There's a few people in China. So. Anyway, after searching for about 2 hours, I managed to find a nice quiet place and got down on one knee and pulled out the ring, and I proposed to Alison in Chinese.
Yeah.
Oh, well done. So you learned a little bit of Chinese too?
I did. And I was very fortunate that Alison said yes, so it's great.
And you were telling me off camera a little bit about your ceremony and a really special event that took place in your ceremony with balloon release. Tell us about that, Alison.
Yeah, that was very nice idea we always wanted to do on the wedding. So we like the color of the theme, which is light orange, it's peach color. So we got about 40-50 balloons, and we released in 3 waves. That was the idea of our celebrant. So the first wave was presenting the family, like the past, and the second wave was presenting the present. This for our friends, and the last wave was just 2 of us, just presenting the future.
That's so beautiful. I love that idea. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the wind was blowing in the perfect way, which is blowing to the ocean, Yeah, it was beautiful with all the balloons in the sky. Yeah,
Fantastic.
beautiful
And you
colour.
were really lucky because it turned out to be a perfect day on Waiheke Island. So you had your ceremony outside, and Cable Bay, for our viewers that don't know, have this huge big expansive lawn, and you get to look back over Auckland City, which is really beautiful. So
Yeah.
fabulous views as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your celebrant and the role that she played in crafting your ceremony and all the ideas that she brought to the party.
Celebrant was Rochelle Fleming, and she's lovely. We met her a couple of times before our wedding, and she just captured, our personality perfect. And she customized the ceremony speech for us. So that was really great.
Yeah, we were very impressed with the way that she managed to bring a bit of. She made Alison's parents, who are Chinese and don't speak English, feel very welcome as part of the ceremony, and got us all to say a few Chinese words and things, and so that was quite special. So everyone felt included, and we just loved the way that Rochelle approached it, and it was a very specialised ceremony that I think a lot of people, quite a few tears flying through. It was quite emotional. So it'll be one that we obviously remember, but so will our friends. So fantastic.
That is awesome. That is very cool. Another great thing about Cable Bay is that, fortunately for you, it was a perfect day, but there is a beautiful lobby area just as you walk into Cable Bay. So if the weather hadn't been great for you, then you could have had an indoor option for your ceremony.
Yeah, we that was certainly one of the options why we chose Cable Bay. Not only did you have the most incredible outdoor setting for a wedding and for the ceremony and for the photos afterwards, but also if the weather wasn't going to plan, it was too windy or wet, then you had this mezzanine inside that just had glass ceiling and glass walls that it felt like you're almost outside anyway. So we actually managed to get quite a really good picture of us in there just before we entered the dining room, which looked great.
Now, moving into the dining room for your reception and for your dinner, we were also talking about how important the food and the wine is, and again, Cable Bay is synonymous with obviously with wine being a vineyard, but food as well. The food is fantastic there.
Oh yeah.
Again, that was one of the reasons we chose Cable Bay. The food there is just it's fantastic, and we got a lot of comments and feedback from all our guests of how good they thought the food was, and what was each person's favourite dishes. And again, wine is something that I'm quite passionate about, and certainly Cable Bay with they make some fantastic wines, and some of those reds that we drank, they're beautiful. So very, very pleased.
Yeah, with the great wine food, we feel like it's in a safe hand. So everything goes wrong, we still have great food and wine.
That's very true. You can't go wrong there, really.
And even with those great food and wine, you had good service too, and they had that. So it really all came together very well.
That's fantastic. Now, we mentioned just briefly, obviously, Alison, you're from China, and now your parents came out from China, obviously, to be at your wedding. And what we mentioned earlier is that your parents don't speak any English. So as part of the speeches, you did something a little bit special with regards to them obviously being able to participate in the speeches.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit a hurry to, ask my dad to speak English. So we have all my dad's speech translated in English by one of my friends at the same time. My speech also included both Chinese and English. So just to get everybody understand and participate.
That's a lovely touch that you can actually incorporate both cultures, and just so that everything is just really tight and one. Because obviously you've melded both cultures into your union, so it's nice that you incorporated both families, which is lovely.
Yeah, I even managed to squeeze a little bit of Chinese into my speech.
Oh yeah, that's right.
As well, so.
The night before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well done, Miles.
That was good.
It was very clear. I was really impressed.
Apparently my pronunciation wasn't too bad, so
yeah.
Good on you. And some of the Chinese pronunciations are quite hard, so good on you.
They are.
Well done.
I've been learning for a little bit.
Now, you didn't have a guest book. You did something a little bit different with regards to a message from your guest. What did you do?
Yeah, I have a very talented sister. She loves drawing. So actually asked her to draw a guest tray, so where the guests can put their fingerprint and sign their names in there. Yeah, it looks beautiful.
So it's a lovely memento that you can now keep rather than having just messages in a book that people are probably not going to look at as often, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Of all the planning and obviously of your actual day, what are some of the highlights for you, Alison, that you remember and you keep thinking back on?
Walking down the aisle, just seeing Miles is anxiously waiting for me. Yeah, that was. Oh, as soon as I put on my wedding dress, it just like everything just feels amazing. Yeah, yeah, seeing all the guests are happy, and yeah, I thought I looked quite good with makeup and dress. Yeah,
I can support that.
yeah.
Miles, what were some of the key highlights for you for your day?
I guess, I mean, obviously the ceremony was a highlight for me. That I'm glad that we got a video recorded so that we can look back and watch that again, because your day goes so fast that sometimes you don't. It's good to be able to step back and appreciate what a fantastic day it was. And but for me, the ceremony was certainly the highlight for me. It was it's probably one of the most special times in my entire life, where you do commit to someone else for the rest of your life. So that's a pretty special time.
And if you were going to give any advice to other couples who are now busy planning their wedding, do you have any advice to give to them?
I would say stay cool all the time. Well, there were lots of things, like new things you need to learn, and yeah, from time to time you'll feel like you have way too much than what you can handle. But it's your wedding, it's the happiest day yet. So just don't sweat over the small stuff and be cool and happy.
Good.
Yeah.
I guess I'd say my advice would be to some of the stuff we did was certainly plan it out as a project, and be aware of what is timely and what isn't, and you need to obviously once you get a venue and a date and booked in, it's all go from there.
Did you enjoy your planning process?
At the beginning was a little bit going to nowhere. There's so much to learn, but once the wedding venue and date set, everything just fall into together. Yeah, I really enjoyed the wedding planning. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, you got to love the spreadsheet.
Well,
You had to love it whether you liked it or not.
Yeah.
Clear responsibilities assigned to each of us. Yeah.
And I guess you become very aware of the wedding community out there very quickly, and all those people that have their certain part in it, and it's just a matter of asking the right questions and knowing the right people to talk to, and seeking and getting that help, really.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Miles, Alison, thank you so much for coming on the show and joining me. It sounds like you had an absolutely awesome day. It sounds like it was really personalised to the two of you. It melded your two families together, and I'd like to wish you all the very, very best for your future together.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
So that's our show for today. Thank you for joining me. I'm Nikki Lewis. If you'd like to get hold of us, you can reach us on www.theguestlist.co.nz. And don't forget to visit our Facebook page as well. You can go on and like us. We're always posting little tips and hints and photos and ideas. And we're going to have that little clip on there from when our crew went and did the on-location shoot at First Scene. It's going to be very, very entertaining. So I will see you next week on The Guest List.